What's up, friendly neighborhood? This is your boy DP Brown from the Nerdcyclopedia Nerd Cycle crew, and I am here on a Thursday coming to you live in our Creators Corner with everything that has to do with Nerdcyclopedia. We always promote like creators, we always promote like good content, we always promote creativity on this program. Okay, we always highlight that. I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. And we have a really great guest, my man Isaac Fisher. He's a really great, content creator, comic book creator. And we're going to talk with him on his process, his inspirations, on what he's working on right now, and basically anything, that comes to mind as fun as far as comics. So, I hope you guys enjoyed like the episode. Before we actually get into that, I want to make sure that you guys are going on to our Nerdcyclopedia website. We just really done like a really good Star Wars fanfic called Twin Destinies. You guys are really going to be enthusiastic about that. Of course, we talk about everything Star Wars on this channel as well. So make sure that you guys check out the website, read the script, and then go back and watch the episode that we break down the story, and then we also review the script itself. We just did that last night. Make sure that you are visiting our social media platforms at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also on TikTok, and coming soon, Threads. All right. We are at Nerdcyclopedia on those social media channels. If you are listening us on iHeart, I'm sorry, on podcast, make sure that you are listening to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast, we are there. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and also that notification button. So anytime that we're on, you know that we're on. If you're watching us on Facebook right now, thank you as well. Make sure you share our program with everyone. We want to make sure that everyone knows that who we are, and also all the content creators that we talk to on this show. Leave us also some feedback, nerds@nerdcyclopedia.com. We love getting your feedback, reading it on air, and then also making sure that you comment on everything that we talk about on this show. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce my boy, or bring on my boy, Isaac Fisher. What is up, Isaac? How you doing?
Hello, pleasure to be here.
Welcome to the internet.
Oh, what a wonderful place
What
in
a
some
wonderful.
corners.
Right, exactly. Yeah, okay. Yeah. We know how the place could be as far as that, but for the most part, you still got your kind individuals. You got your just like in society, you got like a different array and different diverse environment of people on there. But we are who we are, right? All
Yeah,
right. So how you doing this evening, buddy?
doing well. The rain subsided. I think internet is fully up and running, so there shouldn't be any
Rain,
hiccups.
rain interfering with the internet and everything. Who the thunking and stuff. Just like with
Yeah,
electricity and all the other stuff that rain can also interfere with. You just never know with the internet. All right, so yeah, today we're going to talk about Isaac and his projects and everything. I also want to thank Isaac for supporting our Kickstarter, The Theme of Thieves. Late last year we premiered the Theme of Thieves issue 3, and he was one of our supporters on that, and made a really good contribution towards the project. So we thank you again for that, Isaac. And you are here today, because of that. So but I was really excited to talk to you. Anyway, I met this guy at New Dimension Comics in Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh Mills, and he had a really good variety of different content and comics that he was displaying on his table there. And we had some really good conversations on some just creativity in comics, where the industry is headed, how it is right now, how it's struggling in certain sections, and how it's not in others, just the way the content is going. And I really appreciated his stance on certain things, and just really got to know him at that point. So I'm really happy to have him on the show. So Isaac, pretty much just tell me about your journey as a comic creator. What got you into comics?
absolutely. So, uh, first and foremost, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and that's a really important part of the comic journey. When I was 18, I volunteered at the Toonzam when it was just getting off the ground, up and running.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to that, my like attitude towards comics was I loved reading them, but I'm not a drawer. And even though I like writing stories and telling stories,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a drawer. So I'll go write a script and maybe I'll meet an artist,
Mm-hmm.
uh, who will help me make comics in the future. Uh, while I was at the Toonzam, though, I met and was exposed to a lot of great cartoonists.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Waz, for one, Don Simpson
Mm-hmm.
as well. And actually, both of them really encouraged me to do the drawing part and to explore the craft,
Mm-hmm.
and understand how when you're making comics, your writing is your
Mm-hmm.
drawings are your writing, and the two live really close together. So I did find that artist about 10 years later, and that
Okay.
artist was myself.
There you go. All right.
For a lot of things. So I ended up uh, starting a small publisher, Incubator Productions, back
Mm-hmm.
in 2016. At that time, it was Incubator Comics,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, I piloted a handful of my personal comics along with a friend, Alex Ka, who did some great novellas during that time.
Okay.
And I learned that there was still more growth ahead for me. So I went down to Atlanta, and that's kind of where Incubator Comics slowly became Incubator Productions. We became something
Oh,
a
okay.
little bit more inclusive and focused actually on helping artists cross the threshold from
Okay.
being a non published cartoonist to a
Right.
published cartoonist.
Okay.
And a lot of the projects that I took on were from uh, really awesome artists who just needed a little bit of guidance and structure
Mm-hmm.
to turn their comic ideas into something that they could sell, something
Mm-hmm.
that they could take to a comic book convention and
Mm-hmm.
find that next opportunity and continue their growth
Mm-hmm.
as a cartoonist.
How did you feel your reception was? And so you're I think we mentioned that we didn't mention that you have a background as like teaching as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you could consider that as an element in educating those who are trying to get into the industry in doing that. How do you feel your reception was with those individuals that you were trying to teach those methods to?
It's been something amazing. I think at that time I was very young, and
Hmm.
so I expected when I entered into contract with these people and
Hmm.
we made plans to launch their comic and all that, there were still lessons I hadn't learned yet,
Hmm.
uh, especially when it came to marketing
Okay.
and the promotion end.
Hmm.
And at that time it was okay. I thought that those professional relationships might stick around and we might hit a gold mine and
Right.
take
Yeah.
off. But the reality is, there's a lot more work to publishing than just making the comic and making a good comic.
Oh yeah.
And where I've since continued that education, focusing more on the business end, the management end. How do you
Hmm.
develop programs that actually stick and get people
Hmm.
in a place where they are growing, finding those next opportunities? Uh, the immediate reception to our work, boy, we had tons of fun at the comic book conventions. We did Atlanta Comic Con, we did
Uh-huh.
Heroes Con.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, we
these
just
were
did that a few weeks
blasts.
ago.
Yeah, these were amazing, and we met fantastic artists, a lot of
Hmm.
great mentors along the way.
Hmm.
And for all of that, Incubator at that time was a riveting success. Uh, Now we're looking into really being more systematic with
Hmm.
how we do our programming
Hmm.
and actually developing business models that can stick. So right now, I actually have some educational workshops
Okay.
upcoming through the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh,
Okay.
and that's our exploration for 2023.
Tell me about some of those educational workshops. Like, what type of workshops are you wanting to put together, or are you putting together for potential to creators to even come into like this industry. I mean, as you know, it's the comic book
Absolutely.
industry. It's not the easiest industry and the most financially profitable industry to to get into, especially at this moment and everything. So, what type of workshops are you putting together, and what motivations do you think that you can input into that to keep people encouraged into into coming into this industry?
Absolutely. Well, foremost, within comics, while comics themselves as an industry are kind of a difficult field to navigate, it's inconsistent.
Hmm.
Even when you're doing pages, nobody's making money. Even the guys at Marvel and DC.
Right,
It's something that the day job is still really important
right.
component until maybe you're older and things are really in your life making that transition. But what you learn as a comic artist are graphic design skills, writing skills, user experience,
Yeah.
illustration, drawing. Really, you become this creative Swiss Army knife that when you start translating those skills to maybe a website,
Hmm.
maybe doing a small motion media or animation bit, all of a sudden, the really well paying commercial opportunities are right at your fingertips. And that's something where, for these upcoming workshops, we're actually going to do a 3-day intensive with
Uh-huh.
teens at the Hill District Library.
Okay.
And in 3 days, the teen groups are going to make a pitch package with original characters and propose their comic. And
Oh
the
wow.
pitch goes really well. Maybe Incubator Productions will publish it.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I mean, that definitely gives like inspiration to those who to actually try to create something in a competition type of format and everything. I can actually see that as like a TV show if you want it. Oh. I think we lost Isaac there for a second. While I wait for to for his internet to get back going and everything. Just want to make you guys aware that the stuff that Isaac is talking about as far as making comics and putting together formats and even working in this industry is not the easiest thing to do, but it does give you pleasure. And where that pleasure lies in the fact that you're actually doing it yourself. Okay. Doing it yourself gives you that freedom. It gives you that confidence. It gives you that a relief to know that, nobody is like, on your back, trying to get into control over what you're trying to do and everything. And then that you can actually put something out. You can actually put something out to your satisfaction. So that's like a super important thing when it comes to actually creating. And me as a creator, I'm the writer and creator of a theme of thieves. We look to like those things to make it viable for everyone. So I'm gonna put Isaac back on here, and he's going to continue to explain that as he put on his headphones and everything. So yeah, I was just telling our audience and everything the
Let's
elements in
see.
creation, and like your workshops and what it can do for potential creatives and stuff. Tell me some of the challenges that you may find as a comic creator and trying to, like I said, get people inspired to this industry.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Isaac?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was saying, tell me about some of your challenges that you face as a comic creator. First, on your own, without
Hmm.
any input from anyone else, and then as you start talking about your work as relations to Incubator Productions.
Certainly, certainly. So I think one of the earliest challenges, and this is one that even today I'm still kind of on that journey, is finding the niche, right? Finding a lot of times we have a story that's really near and dear to us. We're using it to explore the world, kind of process what we're learning, and
Hmm.
maybe share philosophy and there's a lot that really you put in personally
Hmm.
into your original comics. And that was something that a lot of my work was kind of more in the satirical realm,
Mhm.
poking fun at things,
Mhm.
topics that were a little bit, prickly or,
Mhm.
um, could rub people the wrong way.
Mhm.
And that was something that in my immediate circle,
Mhm.
let's just say supply didn't quite meet demand.
Ah.
And it was what it was, but I was kind of searching for a title in a series that really would have some like sticking power
Mhm.
or some product of my own to really market in and put out there and make some money with. And that's actually where I learned a lot of my skills, strength, and niches
Mhm.
had more to do with teaching and really the process of cartooning as much as the products that I was making.
Okay.
So that journey, that's a longer journey. And while I do hope to make some longer graphic novels,
Mhm.
right now I'm really happy just creating
Mhm.
workshops for students to learn and letting the drawing skills and the content that I create feed
Mhm.
that goal.
Do you speak like when you're creating the workshops? I know you do that portion, but do you speak like do you hold like I guess speaking engagements as far as like I guess encouraging people, as far as comics and um what I want to say here.
Yeah, that's something that the library right now, it's been this is the
Mhm.
first summer of us doing the educational workshops. And this summer, because it's teens, middle
Mhm.
schoolers, high schoolers, we're
Mhm.
focusing on technique first.
Okay.
You know, learning the tools,
Mhm.
getting exposed to things.
Mhm.
Um, Actually, if you want to I can share a sneak preview, but for this upcoming intensive, I'm
Okay.
preparing a workbook that
Okay.
anybody could take the workbook, gather a
Uh-huh.
group of friends, and go
Okay.
ahead and develop a pitch package in three
Okay.
days.
Yeah, go ahead and
So,
share that if you're able to do so.
yeah, let me see what happens when I share the screen. Um,
It should be down there in the present and share screen thing. Are you in Chrome?
yeah,
Okay.
so let's see. So, are you able to see? Huh? Is it presenting?
Yeah, present and then it should be a share option at the bottom.
Okay, click on share. We up? Let's see. Uh, these Okay, it looks like the share screen function might not be available. Um,
It may be a permissions thing too. So
yeah,
da, 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 da.
it's
Well,
okay.
yeah, so yeah, just
I'll
go ahead
talk
and
about
describe it. Yeah.
it. What we have here is the wonderful hand sketched version of the workbook.
Okay.
Right here, right? The Incubator Productions
Mm-hmm.
um, pitch package workbook. But this is essentially um, the way that we have it is that you can follow the workbook, and with the guidance of a teacher, a
Mm-hmm.
professional in the room, uh, you can go ahead and complete the various goals and learn all the tools
Mm-hmm.
that the comic book artist to produce a comic book. And so we're hoping that the students, by the end of the workshop, can technically
Mm-hmm.
figure things out and take ownership of those skills. And I think from there, the next journey for them is to, understand themselves and put those skills to the creation of their own comics.
Yeah, it's a really good thing as a teacher that you put those instill those skills and everything, through the workshop for those, for those individuals that are being inspired by it. I guess my question is,
Oh yeah.
is there a lot of sign up so far, or how what type of response are you getting from people who are wanting to participate in the workshop?
Yeah, so right now it's limited capacity to 10 students,
Okay.
and I will get the numbers tomorrow when I visit the library to kind of do some setup. The
Uh-huh.
workshops will be on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week.
Okay.
Um, as long as we have six, we'll have a really good workshop. So I
Okay.
hope we can get at least six.
Yeah, let's get at least six, y'all. So we're gonna be like sharing this
Yeah.
YouTube and sharing the video and everything. So to make sure we get at least six, you know.
Yeah, this
Um
is for middle school. If you're a middle school student or high school student or a parent of a middle school or high school student,
mhm.
highly encourage you to call the Hill District Library and ask about the workshop. And they will be on the 18th, 19th, and 20th next week.
Isaac, that is super awesome. It's so many things like during the summer that children, kids just need to find something to do, and to find something that's an alternative to like sports. Everyone is not into sports, but it's a lot of people because of how comic culture is and how pop culture is nowadays that are actually into comics.
Oh
And
yeah.
some may not know actually how to like get into it or how it even all puts together. Even when I'm doing these conventions, I like I said, I did Heroes Con about a couple weeks ago. I had like a few individuals come, look at our booth and see the setup and everything, ask how you can get into it, and they thinking it's just like a 1, 2, 3 process. You can't really go into it as easy as that. You have to get your writers, you get the colorists. I mean, I wish I can draw. I always tell people I wish I could draw. It would save me a lot of money, you know. But just talking with them about the process and everything, and to keep their hopes and dreams motivated because they see they look to us, they look to us, Isaac. They see us
Oh
doing
yeah.
it, and they want to mimic and imitate and hopefully get inspired by us and everything. To go on and do whatever journey that they're doing and stuff. So I think what you're doing with like the workshops is just like super great. Do you ever get with I have your comic Cock Block, and I read
Cock and Block
it.
Comics, wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah,
number
Cock and
two is
Block
still
comics.
pending.
You
Number
did.
two is
Number
still
two is still
pending.
pending. Cock and
Yeah, I've
Block
got the
comics and
scripts.
everything.
I've got the scripts to them.
Oh man,
That's
this.
something that, yeah, if there's an artist who is, hey, if you're out there and you want to take on Cock and Block
Mhm.
number two, call me up and we
Yeah,
can
we, yeah,
try to
we,
make
we'll, we'll
something
we'll put all this
happen.
information in the show notes and everything. But
Yeah,
I thought the
get
premise
me
was just
inspired to make it again.
hilarious. Oh yeah, yeah. It was hilarious too, man. I love like the duo and like their I mean, it actually really talked about something a really deep subject matter with
You
date
know,
rape and everything, and
oh yeah,
in a humorous type of way, and of course you wish you had superheroes come and save the day, but I sort of like the banter between like the two and like the villain and everything,
oh with BD,
yeah,
absolutely,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It was like some really good banner, but it really took on a really deep subject matter and stuff. Put a little twist as far as like the party and everything, and how people are at parties and what they get into and what eventually may happen if someone's being walked home and you know uh, by a person that they want to be protected by, but in fact they're the predator.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you know so it was a I thought it was a really great story. So whenever issue 2 comes out, I would love to see like more adventures of them. But
Oh, well, thank you. No, that's good. That's good to hear because talk about the journey of
mhm.
discovery and even self-discovery as an artist. That
Yeah,
was the first script I'd ever written was that Cock and Block Comics. And
really,
I
okay,
wrote that in 2008.
uh-huh,
The comic came out much later in
yeah,
2016 because
okay,
it took 8 years to become the artist
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah,
it. But uh, it was something that really was an early college party I had gone to, and
hmm
these were some of the things that an 18-year-old was really
Mhm.
trying to put together,
Mhm.
coming into adulthood. What
Mhm.
does it mean to be an upstander,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Especially at a young age when,
Mhm.
when kids are 18, 19, um, what you do at that age, standing
Mhm.
up, makes an impact,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Um,
What I really liked about it is the subject matter is timeless.
mhm.
It doesn't, it never gets old and everything. It may look, funny and everything. It may draw you in with like the humor and the characters and stuff, but it deals with something really deep that you hope that, people would take, heart to. It's a fantasy, with superheroes, saving the day and everything. That doesn't always happen in the case with like unfortunate with like a lot of women out there, but I like the fact that you brought attention to like the subject matter in a humorous type of format with cock and block, because literally they are blocking this guy from actually doing
Cock blocks
doing,
in the
doing
name of
everything.
justice. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and these are the interesting things where I've had discussions with people as well in 2023. Does the world even need cock and block?
Yeah.
Or is that wrapped into its own patriarchy and
Hey, yeah,
things like
it's,
that?
it's
So
always
there's a
going to
lot
be
to explore within it.
it's always going to be a need for cock and block. Believe me,
Yeah.
always going to be a need. I don't know if you're going to have like books available for like your workshop class, but I think this will be a really good thing for them to see. You know,
You think for
because
middle schoolers and that?
oh no, no, not middle schoolers
Oh,
and
okay.
everything. I'm
For
talking about
the adults.
yeah,
Okay.
for the adults, because I would imagine once you start getting this thing rolling and everything,
Doing
adults,
an adult version.
yeah,
Yeah,
doing the
I
vote.
think you're right.
Exactly. I mean, it took me. Okay, I'm 45 years old right now. Um,
Yeah.
I didn't start actually doing comics and for like until I was like right in my early 40s and stuff. I was always into comics,
Yeah.
but I didn't actually start writing and producing until like my early 40s and everything. So it's been like a lifelong dream of mine, and I finally got into it based on the fact that I just love comics just so much. Why not get into it and everything? So yes, you're going to have, I believe, if once your workshops are successful, which I believe they're going to be, adults wanting to get into what you're trying to teach them, because it's
Yeah.
universally, it's universal.
That's I'm gonna keep that in mind too. I know there's some grants out there as
Uh-huh.
well, that,
Yeah,
you know, kind of
yeah.
be on the lookout for. And it's good to hear that from you, DP, that the market might be larger than even what
Oh,
I imagine in my head, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I guess you would think about people in their early 20s, and just people just trying to find themselves and everything. Like I said, um, um, if they hear about certain things, like I said, with people coming up to my booths and conventions, I would like just refer them to you. Go to
oh,
this, go to
absolutely.
Isaac's workshop. He has the ins and outs. He's paying. I mean, he's only charges such and such, such, such. But go to his workshops. He'll give you the one A's, B's, and C's of how to get into, not only to get into the industry, just how to put your stuff together to just actually get you in to starting, that because you got to start from somewhere. Okay.
Exactly. And
And don't think that you have to actually, start out at the top in order to get somewhere.
yeah, and that's kind of one of the biggest things that, if I can pontificate a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um,
Absolutely.
the uh, the first step to having your comic sold or being a professional, whatever that means in your head,
Hmm.
ultimately, a professional is someone who's making money
Hmm.
doing the production or
Right.
doing something that they love related to comics, right?
Right.
You don't even have to be drawing
Yep.
or any of it.
Right.
You could do marketing.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but the key to it all is learning how it all fits together,
Hmm.
learning how to work with others. I think
Hmm.
that is one of the things where if I see the people who really thrive in comics,
Hmm.
and seem to always be busy,
Hmm.
always, doing a new work,
Hmm.
well, they're working with others.
Right.
and that's something that I encourage, that if even if you've got your own idea,
Hmm.
work on projects that aren't your own. People will
Right.
pay you for it,
Yeah.
and you'll start being able to put those things together in your that spare time. And when
Mm.
it comes time to cross that threshold, you're also going to know what parts of the process you don't need to do, and you can pay somebody else to do to make
Well,
that better product.
and what I like about what you're teaching there, you draw them in with, like, the concept, make your own comic. Let's see how you can put that all together. But what you're also doing, which you already alluded to throughout the conversation, is that you're teaching like lifelong lessons: how to work as a
Hmm.
team, how to collaborate, how to look at another person's idea and expound on that,
Hmm.
and just learn different things that aren't necessarily comic adjacent, but in the comics proximity. You can actually, if you find out through like the process, you're not a great artist or whatever. You can
Hmm.
still, like you said, work in a marketing thing. You still close to comics. You're still in your passion and everything, but you just found out you're not a great, artist and everything. Or you find out that you're, more of a writer. And you can let
Hmm.
someone else do all that. So these are the things that you're teaching the young ones at an early age to take it to like their adulthood, especially if you're doing this with high schoolers too.
Yeah.
They could take into like their college and their adulthood, and still remember that you're the ones that you Isaac, you were the one that actually started them on that road, through comics. And I'm always an ambassador that comics always have something to teach, not just on the
Oh
page
yeah.
itself, but outside of the page and everything. It's not just for kids. It's the whole reason why I'm in this thing, just to keep people um keep people knowledgeable for the fact that this thing is a legitimate medium. As far as like the paper and everything, it takes a lot of work to put it in thought, just as you would like a novelist or whatever, novella or whatever. It,
Hmm.
it, it takes a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Words of encouragement, though, for anyone who's getting started. There does come a moment where it does get easy.
You
I
have to be
mean,
patient.
yeah, where all of a sudden, usually it comes with a lot of pressure and realizing where you can cut corners. But all of the sudden, like, uh, when you start really, getting comfortable putting images and words on the page, I
Hmm.
think recently I've been doing a lot of graphic design, web design, and I have to say that has helped me with, the cartooning and vice versa
Hmm.
so much. Just seeing how an experience lays out on the page and taking people on a journey and then putting in the beautiful pictures and
Hmm.
then layering the
Hmm.
dialogue on top of it. But starting really with those basic shapes and
Yeah.
what the page can give you.
Yeah, it makes for a beautiful masterpiece when it all gets done. You can put together, cock and block comics. You could just put in, you could do whatever you want. That's the freedom of your creativity, because it's coming from
Hmm.
your head and you're just putting it on paper. And if you do collaborate, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine as well, and everything.
Hmm.
Um, just to bring things home here.
Absolutely.
Isaac, you've been great. I'm applauding everything that you're doing. I'm encouraged by everything that you got coming along. Speak on some of the things. Yeah, I know you got like the library project and everything, but speak more about that, and what you hope to gain from, and also what you hope to have people encouraged by once all that gets done. Oh, I can't hear you. You got it on mute. There we go.
Hear me now.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, excuse the technical difficulties. um, so, DP, just to summarize, what's coming next, things looking
Yes.
forward to after this July. So, in July, the season of library workshops will conclude. There will be a final one open to the entire public at the Sheridan Public Library on June 25th.
Okay.
And that's going to be something a little bit more free form, a little bit open. I'll probably bring down some of the inking tools and we'll probably focus a lot just on doing inking and tracing on top. Sorry, inking on
Inky.
top of really good professional pencils, so
Mhm.
that you can get the experience. And that's a really great way to learn to draw. Ink over great pencils,
Mhm.
and you'll start understanding the good work that they're doing and repeat it in your own pencils. Um, After that, things are a little bit open. I kind of just got out of this graduate school bubble, so I know Incubator Productions, our website is due for a little bit of an overhaul to be updated more with our educational workshop focus
Okay.
and the things we're bringing there. I'm on the market for drawing collaborations, or writing collaborations, or editing collaborations as well. So those of you out there who need a cartoonist in your life, I'm here for hire.
All right.
And in the meantime, just getting back to doing some cartooning for the love of cartooning, I think, is the still a couple months away from that, when things start settling down a little bit. But
Okay.
uh, I've got another series called The Tourist,
Okay.
who this character, travels around the world, taking pictures.
Mhm.
He's a little bit of a Magoo-esque character. Little does he know he's actually a secret agent for the Trusty Travel Agency,
Okay.
keeping world travel safe.
There we
So
go.
uh, he hasn't had a longer adventure since the one I did last year, which was about 13 pages. And I'm thinking that that's going to be the next cartoon project.
Okay, that sounds great. I mean, that's awesome. What are the dates again for the workshop?
So Sheridan, July 25th, I believe that's a Tuesday.
Okay.
And yeah, you'll have to double check on the library website. I want to
Okay.
say it's at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Um,
But
but
they can go to Carnegie Library.
Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh,
Okay.
they,
All right.
yeah, it's up there on their events page. I think if you type in Incubator Productions, you'll get a pop-up with it.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. We'll put everything down into the show notes as well and everything. But Isaac, I thank you. Thank you for coming on, man. It's been a great conversation and everything.
Absolutely.
Great way to reconnect with you, since our new dimension adventure and everything. We got to do some more stuff and everything. So I like having you on.
Absolutely, DP. I think we're overdue for some, at least seeing each other at the conventions and
Oh yeah, yeah,
face
yeah.
to face and all that stuff too. It's been a real pleasure.
Absolutely. And guys, I want to thank you once again for joining us this evening and everything. If you're watching on the replay, like I said, we'll have everything down in the show notes for you to link to Isaac's workshops and also Incubator Productions. Thanks again for coming over to Nerdcyclopedia, and also make sure, like I said, you hit that subscribe button and also that notification button. So anytime that we're on, you know that we're on. Thank you again, Isaac. We'll see you when we see you.
All right. Thank you, DP. Have a great night.